right, my lovelies, welcome in. Today I want to do a weekly twin flame reading for you. Let's see where we're going. I'm definitely feeling deep transformation. I'm doing this reading right as Jupiter is going retrograde, Venus is going direct. That's not as big a deal. Like Venus going direct is a big deal. We, obviously been talking about divine feminine forever and ever. Venus is divine feminine. Jupiter is usually husband or something along those lines, may not be divine masculine. But for all of us, we all have divine feminine, divine masculine in here. So for all of us, it is about the integration of these two energies. Masculine's really Mars, okay? Just FYI. But with Venus going direct, we now have a chance to put in place things that make us feel nurtured and taking good care of ourselves and things like that. Venus in retrograde in Leo has been really challenging. Some of you know what I'm talking about. We talk about it on Pathfinders. We've talked about it every week. This week, we're going to talk about moving forward. Okay, couple of things to announce before we get into the reading. Teaching a class this week on reprogramming your subconscious. If you're meditating and manifesting and doing all kinds of stuff but can't figure out why it's not working, link below if you want to jump onto that class. In the heart healing group, because Venus is going direct and Venus is our heart, we're going to talk about heart healing. And with Jupiter in retrograde at this time, Venus going direct, one of the things you do want to pay attention to is try not to be too overly trusting of things. Jupiter in retrograde can trip you up a little bit with that. But for the most part, you guys have reclaimed your self-worth and balance. And in our heart healing group this week, we're really going to start healing that heart so that you can step into trust a lot more than maybe you have been in the past. All right, all those links are below. Let's get cracking. What is going on with the collective? I'm going to do the collective reading, and then I will do a little bit feminine and masculine in the extended. I will go deeper into masculine and feminine with advice. All right, divinity, I saw that when I was shuffling. That was the only card I paid attention to when I was shuffling. Interesting. Water. Oh, divine feminine. Very nice. So this water and divine feminine sort of reinforcing everything I just said. This is about realigning yourself, okay? Some of you have, with Venus in retrograde, have really gone into a shell or felt a lack of self-worth, a lack of being able to move yourself forward or feeling like you're not worthy of moving forward. You're basically unpacking karma is what you're doing with these retrogrades. You're unpacking lessons. And so things come up. It's fine, right? Like that's the point of us living. That's the point of us being here. So now things are moving forward. Jupiter in retrograde is a time of us reclaiming our own, not divinity, but reclaiming luck, reclaiming connection with people kind of randomly, it seems, but then like on the other end, you'll be able to see how that all worked out. And I just feel like the trust in the divine is the thing to really focus on for divine feminine, divine masculine. You can be looking at this reading as an internal divine feminine, divine masculine, or you can be looking at it as a feminine and a masculine, two separate entities, depending on where you are in your journey. That will make sense to you. It'll make sense either as a relationship reading or as an integration of your own energies. So without further ado, what is going on for the collective? Bringing in my guides and your guides. Asking for the help of Ascended Masters and Archangel Michael here to protect us as we move forward in this journey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I saw the Queen of Pentacles. That's also Venus, taking good care of oneself. Lots of messages around that. Lots of messages about not even really you putting yourself first, but recognizing when you haven't been doing that and you've been selling yourself short. How many times have you done that over the past 6 weeks? Okay. 4 of Pentacles underneath. Sun. 9 of Pentacles. The Hierophant. This is about self-worth and self-confidence. Okay. On the 19th, we're going to be doing a class about the difference between self-love and self-care and how to have both of those things, how to work both of those things now that Venus is direct. The King of Pentacles. Look at that. Lots of pentacles here. Okay. The Judgment and the moving toward the King of Cups. So the water energy that's showing up for me today, I just feel like that has to do because this is a masculine, right? A masculine water sign. So that is an integration and a masculine pentacle. This is also masculine, feminine, balanced energy, right? The pentacles and the cups are feminine. The kings are masculine. I do feel like the Leo energy that we are now dipping into is going to help us reclaim our self-worth now that Venus is going direct. There's something about making a commitment to yourself to integrate these things. The Hierophant, Taurus energy, Jupiter is retrograde in Taurus. So your self-worth or your luck or your capability of expanding into the world is coming from a counterintuitive place. It's coming from a place of like grounding yourself and reaching for the stars at the same time. There's going to be this counterintuitive feeling to you. And actually, I wrote some notes about that this morning. I did. I wrote some notes about the counterintuitive. Be careful about trusting, work hard, rest hard, being too self-indulgent. No. Self-indulgence and things of the feminine nature of giving oneself what you need may have seemed self-indulgent at one time, but with Jupiter in retrograde, I feel like that's exactly what's necessary right now, is giving yourself a lot of wonderful self-care and nurturing, because the masculine energy is about action, right? About action, and feminine energy is about that loving, nurturing, self-aware, self-kindness, even luxury and indulgence. Okay. If I see the devil energy in here, then we know we've gone too far. But this is for the collective, right? The Seven of Cups, the Knight of Swords, Ace of Swords, High Priestess, Three of Swords, the Moon, and the Page of Swords. So the messages have been coming through. The messages are going to continue to come through for the divine connection. And I feel like the Virgo new moon, we just finished a super moon, a blue moon in Pisces, the water energy, about purging anything that isn't loving, that isn't kind. That's one of those things that my friend Jen Huber, who's a shaman who is with us on that heart healing group, she talks a lot about, is this loving to me? And stopping yourself enough, instead of just reacting to triggers or reacting to a person, reacting to a situation, instead, like give yourself a couple of beats before you do anything. Just see it as a situation. You don't have to respond to everything. I felt so freed when I first realized you don't have to answer every question that's posed to you. You don't have to respond to everything that's asked of you. You don't have to respond to people's demands. You don't have to respond to people who are unloving or uncaring or unkind. You don't have to put yourself in those positions. It's a choice, right? And it comes from a place of childhood where we're supposed to be polite and we're supposed to be, not rude anyway. And I think if the rudeness lesson went too far, that you're putting yourself in positions that aren't loving or aren't kind or aren't self-care or aren't self-love or anything like that, I think now that's changed. I think that's the lesson of the Venus retrograde this year. We don't get Venus retrograding every single year. That's why it's so freaking crazy when it does. We get Jupiter retrograding every year. Okay? And a lot of people are born with Jupiter retrograde, me included. And I'm a Sag, and I'm the luckiest SOB on this planet. But when Venus goes retrograde, it throws our sense of inner balance off. And it gets us to wake up and look at what we're doing. Are we being loving to self, loving to our own nature? Are we taking action internally? Are we caring for ourselves? Now, this situation with the collective, I'm seeing that there's a lot of choices, a lot of directions we could go, a lot of ways forward. And the situation is very, very unkind and unloving right now, okay, in the universe, not in the universe, in on Earth. No, not in the universe. The universe is always loving. There's a lot of situations where some of you are really dealing with messages that feel like you're being, this is a terrible word, bludgeoned, feels like you're being hit over the head with some past hurts or past fears or something. And that has really been the message of Venus in retrograde. It's not here to punish you. It's here for you to unpack. Because if you, I saw, I know we put up a meditation from Jen Huber this week about going into core wounds. And this is the work of Venus in many ways in retrograde. And it's like, if you are having trouble meditating, if you are having trouble going back into those, consider going into a therapeutic environment where you can feel safer doing it. Number one. But number two, know that there's something in there that is preventing you from growth. When you're not able to do that, you're like, no. You know, I saw a bunch of people like, ah, can't do it. Nope, not doing it. That's what's preventing the growth. Because you're out here manifesting, you're out here doing all this other stuff. Might as well kick it into gear. Might as well get unpacking. Get unpacking. Get cracking, McCracken. Get unpacking. Because this full moon, the new moon in Virgo is coming up. And that new moon in Virgo, I'm not going to finish out. I'll finish this out in a second. But the new moon in Virgo is Virgo is about healing. We think of Virgo as, Excel spreadsheets and all this other stuff. And I think that's a tremendous disservice to Virgo. Even though organization is 100%, you and Gemini, really good at it. But what's really under there is I'm doing something to organize so that my mind can be free. When you have a sense of lots going on and you can't really focus on anything, and certainly you can't meditate, certainly you can't do anything, the organization of Virgo energy gives us structure so we can free our mind. Because most of the time when we're having trouble meditating or having trouble sleeping or anything like that, it's because our monkey mind. Because those things haven't been handled. So we're like, uh-oh, I got to do this. Uh-oh, this is happening. Uh-oh, what's going on with that? Uh-oh, right? And then that's a problem. So the new moon in Virgo is giving us a really good chance to organize ourselves so that we can take our time and make decisions. Don't react to things. Even if things are unloving, don't react to things. Masculine and feminine. You have a protector. One of the archetypes of masculine energy is protector. One of the archetypes of feminine energy is healing. So protection during healing. And I'm going to look and see what these messages are, because the new moon is coming up on September 14th. Jen and I will be doing a live together around that Virgo moon to help you manifest. But you got to prepare first. You got to unpack some of this karmic stuff first. And this is twin flame energy, right? This is about masculine and feminine stuff. So what is going on with you in terms of your ability to commit to relationship? How do you feel about relationship? You cannot manifest from a broken heart, because desire comes from your heart. And if you have a broken heart, you're not really fully aligned. There's pain and there's suffering there. You can't manifest if you have a broken heart. So it's time to go back into those memories or those things that keep us from healing and work on it. Jupiter in retrograde is a really good protector energy. Okay. So messages that want to come through. Eight of Wands, lots of messages. Ace of Wands, lots of ideas. Queen of Pentacles, beautiful. Wow. Okay. So what's coming through here in the next 3 days? Three of Swords is a timing card here. That's fast energy. Three of Swords. So you may have things kind of pounding on you and you're a little bit confused about things. What I want you to do is kind of work on unpacking some of these issues around self-love, self-care, the ability to love other people. If you can't love yourself, you're not going to be loving to anybody else, whether you're sitting on the masculine side or the feminine side. The universe has messages that are trying to come through. The Ace of Swords is saying, look, these are messages that are designed to bring, let's see, ideas, opportunities. When you are aligned, head and heart, you're getting in that flow, right? Divinity. You're getting in that flow, water. And this is about receiving them. The divine feminine energy is receiving. And so right now, in the next 3 days, 8 of Wands, lots of communication. Could be communication with your twin flame, or could be aligning with communication internally to your high self. You are connected to your twin via your high self. So connect to that. What's getting in the way is this sense of anything that needs to be unpacked karmically, which is what I just talked about. Anything that needs to be unpacked in terms of a broken heart. What are the lessons? What do I need to know in order to start loving myself? That is the foundation here. This is a deep transformational moment, okay, for masculine and feminine. When we're really learning to commit to ourselves, to loving ourselves, that's when things can start flowing. 8 of Wands, Ace of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, and the Emperor. Action forward. You need to receive, though. Receive these things coming in. And then on the new moon, I keep saying full moon, but the new moon in Virgo, that's when action can take place in terms of manifesting. So having a balance of allowing, of receiving, and taking action. This Virgo new moon, 10 of Wands, purging, Page of Pentacles. You've learned, Fool, new path. 7 of Wands. I feel like you've learned to protect yourself, right? The lesson of Jupiter in retrograde is about being too trusting. So I feel like you've learned to protect yourself. You've learned to heal that heart so you can be both protected and loving. You can be loving to self. You can unpack this whole thing of, how did I get here? And why did I let all those narcissists in my life and all this kind of stuff? And what is really twin flame for me? So let's unpack that. I'll pull some cards for each zodiac sign in the extended to give you specific advice. I'm also going to pull cards for divine feminine and divine masculine. All right. So link is below. It's time to receive this deep transformation. All right. Link is below. I'll see you over there. Let's keep going. All right. I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.